Hi, this is Bob from the Free Film School, and I just want to let you know there was something I forgot to tell you with the last live video, and I'm in a performing mood tonight since I'm watching the Emmys, a rebroadcast of the Emmys, and I'm kind of hamming it up tonight. The first 5 or 6 of these videos live, I think I was a little shy, or there was something, I don't know, I was a little, it wasn't coming off well on camera. But tonight I'm having a good night. Anyway, so I just want to share another thing that we have posted. We'll be posting it tomorrow morning on the Free Film channel. It's a free online video editing online service, and it's called Magisto, Magisto.com. And basically what you do is it's perfect for short films or YouTube clips, short little programs. And basically what you do is you get a limit of 15 short, maybe not too short, but you get a limit of 15 video clips and still photos. And you upload them to their site. And what they do is their site is powered by an algorithm and also artificial intelligence. And they can, it depends on the story, but it depends on what your video and your still pictures are. But basically, the computer either, it uses artificial intelligence to put together a short film or a clip, video clip. And basically what it does is it arranges your images as it sees fit. Now, I've had good luck with it. I've had things where I just filmed at the beach. I'm going to start posting a lot of my videos from my other film channel. Well, I shouldn't say other film channel. This is the Free Film channel, a Free Film School. This is my film channel, but I have another YouTube channel called Ferg Film, and I've been making short movies and YouTube videos and subjects that come to mind, or people that say, well, I want to do a music video, or I want to do a little documentary, or I want to do a travel show, or whatever, and I put those on Ferg Film. But what I'll be doing in the coming months is repositioning and repurposing those videos and putting them on the Free Film School channel to show and explain how they're made and give a little background on the equipment I used and the techniques. And they're all low budget, so it's a good tutorial for people out there that want to use thrift store cameras. That's possible. Some of the lower price cameras, they do have good video. The sound is a little bit tricky. In my experience, Canon has the best sound of any camera out there for the price. In other words, if you buy a thrift store camera that does video, and it's a pocket camera, and it's a Canon, the sound will be very good. If you buy another brand, I'm not going to mention the other brands, but even if they get the video good or, really good, they don't have the market on sound. They don't have the technology for sound, a lot of them. I mean, I'm talking like 5 years ago. I mean, I think a lot of the manufacturers now are pretty good with the sound because of the explosion with YouTube. I mean, the Panasonics, the Fujis, I think they're getting better with sound, and especially the YouTube. People are not going to be doing doctoring with sound. They're just going to be shooting with their iPhone. iPhones have good sound. They're just going to be shooting with their iPhone or their simple camera. So people are going to start getting upset if the sound is bad in 2017. In the older times, I think people were just in the past years, people were just satisfied with video, and they weren't particularly worried about the sound. But like I said, I'll be repurposing those videos. I'll be doing tutorials on what cameras I used and how to get around the sound problem. The best way to get around the sound problem is to record the sound, your sound, even if you're doing a live action video. What you can do is you can record the sound on your iPhone audio recorder, or you can use a separate digital recorder, such as a computer. If you're doing you can use your web camera and you can use the computer microphone, or you can use a external microphone that you can buy for a computer. You can basically record the sound on another device, and then when you edit it with software, you can sync the sound and the picture together. That's one way to get around the bad sound quality of some of the older digital cameras that have video. Now, another foolproof way to get rid of that sound problem, if you have a camera that has bad sound, is make a music video or a film without sound. And basically you film a travel video, which is basically pictures of your travel location, or for example you would do a music video where it's just basically the music track, and you have no sound, so you don't have to worry about. I mean, I did a music video, and I used a Sony camera, and this is an older Sony camera, and the quality of the picture is dead on, is very good, but they hadn't got, in all their cameras, they hadn't got the sound quite great on that particular model, so the sound was really bad. So basically, it was a good camera to use for the music video because we just used the music track, and the sound didn't have to be good. So that's basically what we're doing, starting this week. We're going to be repurposing our other Ferg Film short films and putting them on the Free Film School YouTube channel and explaining details on tutorials on how they were made. So it's good for beginning filmmakers to see that you don't need a large budget as far as equipment or equipment being cameras, accessories, microphones, lighting. Especially now with the sensitivity of cameras, you don't really need lighting. I mean, I'm doing this live broadcast tonight with a couple lamps. I mean, and the light from the TV. I'm still watching the Emmys. I got the sound off because I wasn't sure of the copywritten rules. But anyway, there's light coming to my face, and there's back lighting from the back wall. So we've got pretty good even lighting. That years ago, the sensitivity of the products that you film with wouldn't be up to snuff. So you would need even lighting or large lights. So for making a low budget or no budget project for YouTube or a short film, you don't really need a large budget, or you can even get away with no budget. With no budget, you would have a hand-me-down camera from a relative, your parents, or a relative that has to have the latest and greatest in cameras. And some people just throw stuff away. I mean, I like to repurpose stuff because I look at it like it's disposable. I mean, I have the cameras that I buy that I like, but I also pick up thrift store cameras. And if somebody gives me their stuff, their old stuff, their old cell phones, their old cameras, I use it for what it's worth. And then if it busts, I just throw it away. I recycle it, But you can get something. I mean, it's not the equipment you use that's important. It's the story you tell. I mean, story is very important, or it's the message. Story is good for a short scripted movie or even a longer scripted movie, but for something that's just a YouTube video, the message is important. I mean, in some countries they're having issues with certain things, political issues or whatever, and people are empowered now with little cell phone cameras or little inexpensive cameras. I mean, and they can post. It's the message. I mean, if they have a powerful message, it can go worldwide. I mean, it's not really the equipment. I mean that used to be the thing. I mean, you'd have to have the entry to making projects was so high that the equipment was important because everything else just couldn't be distributed or there was no YouTube. You couldn't get a worldwide audience. But anyway, enough about my jabbering on. This week, like I said, I will be starting to post some of my projects as tutorials on the Free Film channel. The Free Film School channel. And also, we are going to premiere the Editing 101 short little tutorial. It's basically a tutorial in the description, but it's the music video I was speaking about that was shot with the Sony Pocket camera. And the music video is called Alice in Wonderland, and it's the cult film. It's called Alice in Wonderland cult film, and basically it's a re-edit of an old project I did a year ago or a couple years ago, and it was done at the on the online site, the magisto.com. That site. I did this new video, which is about a minute long, on that site. And basically, like I said, you just upload your clips, and since it's a music video, I just picked music video, and it does that. It doesn't take away the sound. But if you wanted to use a new soundtrack, if you have old footage and you want to liven it up with a new soundtrack, on that site they have royalty-free music. So you can use all different types of styles of music: hip-hop, pop, instrumental, folk, independent music. I mean, whatever music. And the computer also, you can use a function on there where the computer, with its artificial intelligence, it can choose the style of editing and the type of music by just the images that it's supplied with. So sometimes it's cool because you can come up with something a little bit more experimental or something you wouldn't expect. So I did that once, and I think that's pretty cool. Like I said, it's limited to 15 clips and still images. If you want more, I think you're only limited to one title too in the beginning. If you want more titles on each, if you're doing a big long project and you have different people, like a documentary or a television show, and you have different people that you're interviewing and you want their names, or you want titles, if you want titles in between the names as far as the story. I believe you can look at their pricing, but they have a subscription rate for a monthly subscription, and then they have a yearly rate. If you pay, you get a cheaper rate if you pay by the year. But they store all your projects at their facility. So, but I like the free version. It's easy to use. You can use it on most computers. I have an old Mac Pro laptop that I don't think it's not the latest OS. I'm not sure if it's OS X. I think it's OS 9. But anyway, it's a silver laptop. But that was a recycled product. I got that used, and it's good for these online services. I use another online service. I'm gonna profile that one too. That's not as good as this one. That one is a little bit. What's good about that one is you know, it's not as good as this one because the the first one I mentioned, it's fully automatic, and it's got a lot of the new styles. It's got a lot of the new sensibility as far as editing is concerned built in. So it makes things cool automatically, which I like. The other site, I think it's called WeVideo.com. Now the other site is like a traditional editor. Like it looks like a low version of um, Adobe Premiere or Windows, like a little bit higher quality like Windows Movie Maker, but it's sort of like it's like in between Premiere. It's not the top, or even Premiere Elements. It's sort of in between the lowest and the highest. But that's also a subscription service too. You pay monthly if you want all the features. If you want something that you can put something together. The basic, it's free if you want to just put something together and have a few of the features, a few of the special effects, a few of the filters, and limited titles. I think that has some sound tools too for the free version too. But that particular product is limited too as far as time, as far as the amount of images you can upload. I think you have a limit of the time during the month you can make projects. Like you can't just keep making projects, all month. The first one I talked about, the Magnese MAG, the rest of it, that one. I don't know if it's got a limit on the free projects. In other words, you might be able to, as long as they're short, you might be able to do a lot of free projects each month. Maybe, I'm not sure if it's unlimited or not. But the second one, the WeVideo, that one puts a watermark on your video itself. But I'm not really, personally, I'm not really put off by the watermark or the other one, the MAGISTO. That one also puts a watermark on the video too, but it kind of looks like you're sponsored by the company. And the WeVideo, it's the same thing. Like I said, the message is more important to me than, and they're giving me access to a remote server, a remote facility, artificial intelligence. They're giving me access to, everything in the back end. So I can just use an older Mac, or I can use, whatever is, I was using a Windows 7 machine at one time, and I could get on both those services with that machine. I recently upgraded that machine. The video card was built into the motherboard, and that went kaput. So today, actually, I'm installing my new computer, which is a new computer with Windows 10. So, but my point is, if you can get on the internet and it's a fairly modern machine, Windows, I would say Windows Vista, Windows 7, or Windows 10, and you can, it's safe as far as antivirus and viruses. You can do these online services if you can get on the internet. And both those, the WeVideo, I'm not sure. Yes, they do. I don't think they had it when they first started out, but both those online editors have apps. So you can do projects on your iPhone and your Android tablet or your Android phone with both those online services. Now, the cool thing about that is not just that you can do it on your phone, you can do the whole project on your phone. That's one cool thing. You don't even have to touch a computer, and you can upload it to YouTube and Facebook and, Google's site too, their networking site like Facebook, Google. I don't remember what that's called. I don't use it that often, but I just had a slip, a memory slip, but I do use it once in a while. But not. I use Facebook and Twitter and Google more often than their service. Their Facebook like page. But you can also, with the first service that starts with the M, you can also you can make custom videos for Instagram. Now, what it does is it takes the video. Once it makes your video for Facebook and the other services, in Twitter or whatever, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, that's the long form video. Even though it's a short video, it's longer. It's longer than the Instagram. It makes a shorter version of it for Instagram. I think it's 15 seconds, and that also can change the video. It comes up with its own version of the video. So the way to get around it, where it's something it's close to what you like, you just keep rejecting. It asks you at the end of the video whether you like the video or not, and just say you hate it. Give it the worst rating, and then it will give you the option to choose different music if you don't like the music they choose, or a different editing style. So that's how you get around the fact that you only get one chance. If you accept the video, you only get one chance as far as automatically editing it. If you reject the video, you can keep rejecting it until you get something that you feel is close to what you like and the computer likes. So that's how the first service works. The second service, like I said, is pretty cut and dry. It's just sort of like a cross between, it's the in-between of Windows Movie Maker and Adobe Premiere or Adobe Elements. So that's a pretty cut and dry editing system. You basically just upload your clips. It also has free music. Both these services have royalty-free music, so you don't have to worry about any copyright issues. The services take care of that. The artists that put music on these services do it because they want to be on the service for exposure. So that's my talk for tonight. I'm watching the Emmys without the sound, so I'm guessing what's going on. I didn't watch them live in the LA area here. They had it live beginning at 5 Pacific time, and they repeated it. They rebroadcast it at 8. So I'm watching the rebroadcast. I guess I'm not as big of a TV fan as I used to be, but I like the fact TV is changing. I mean, it's supposed to be, and it's been told that told to everyone that it's the stories are deeper, and it's not as much. I don't want to say ratings driven, but it's not as much sensationalism. I mean, some shows are sensational, but it's not as much as that as it once before. It's where quality television is being made, the quality stories are being told, because movies are starting to get like, well, they've been that way for a while. They're starting to get like what television used to be. It was sort of like the safe stuff. There are a lot of remakes, a lot of things, superhero movies, that's all safe. There's a built-in audience. They're not taking too many chances anymore in the movies. So television is the new cutting edge place to make shows and scripts that are like that. But anyway, I'll let you go. Have a great week. Catch our Editing 101 short little clip tutorial premiering tomorrow morning, and it will have a preview of our little music video we did a couple years ago. It's been re-edited using that online service I spoke about, and I will explain a little bit how that works. I already did that tonight, but basically you'll get the link, you'll get the website for the service, and if you want to use that service, that's great. There's other services out there. You can do a search on Google for online video editing. I recommended this. One of my viewers, one of our followers, he thanked me for the advice I gave him on cameras and the whole process. He's saying he's learning about film right now, and he's also following a lot of the same channels that talk about the same subject as I am talking about on YouTube. And he says they're all good, and I agree with him. They're all good. You can find a lot of channels that have dedicated either ex-professors or people that have a passion for film, and they're explaining a lot of things about equipment, about technique, about the history of film. So I mean, YouTube is full of a lot of good information about when you're starting out and you're making your film. You want to make your film, you want to make your YouTube projects. All the information is on YouTube. So you basically you don't have to necessarily go to film school anymore. It's out there. All the information is there. I mean, you can supplement the information on YouTube with books from the library, with online courses, community college courses, making your own films, watching films. That's another good. I heard a story about Jurassic Park when that first came out. Spielberg had a younger producer working with him, and basically this was the era of Laserdisc, and Spielberg said, well, here's the Laserdisc I want you to get, and we want the story to be kind of following these themes. I mean, he got King Kong, he had the young producer watch King Kong for the monster type atmosphere, King Kong, and also the island. I think King Kong, the original King Kong, the monster came from an island, which is like Jurassic Park. And there were a couple other movies that he basically said, I want this part to be like this, and this part to be like this, and this, and this. And he was working on his formula. So you can get a lot of techniques from movies, from just watching movies. So that's free. I mean, you can, if you have a Netflix subscription, if you get DVDs from the library. I mean, these are all low cost or free items. So I guess my point is, it's a good way to learn, from YouTube, from a lot of the other sources I mentioned. So tomorrow we'll have our Editing 101 video premiering in the morning. And I also want to mention that there's a lot of free software that you can install on your computer. The one person I talked about that was asking me questions, he was talking about learning about editing. And I said, well, you can get free video editing software online. And there's a company called Video. It's not, the company's a different company name, but the video product itself is called VideoPad, and basically it's another version of, it's in between Windows, Windows Media and YouTube. Not YouTube, but Premiere Elements. So you don't get all the bells and whistles, but if you want to put video together, and it's got a little bit of echo and it's got a little bit of sound quality control, you can piece together a YouTube project, and it also comes with Android compatibility, and it's also available on iPhone, so you can upload your finished project to YouTube or the other social network channels, and it is free, and you can install it, get this, on computers, not just new computers, but it's compatible with a computer all the way back to Windows XP. So if you have an old computer you bought at a thrift store, somebody a relative handed it down to you, and it's an XP or a Windows 7 or a Windows 98, you would basically use that computer as your editing computer. I mean, you wouldn't have to get on the internet. You could basically make your file and then save that file to a thumb drive or a larger hard drive, like an external hard drive, and then put that into another computer and get on the internet and upload your film. So there's a lot of free ways around paying high prices for equipment, time, resources, film school. So I hope you come back to our channel. I hope if you like this live video, you like and you subscribe. And if you have any questions about what I spoke about tonight, or any other questions about filmmaking or making videos, shoot me a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Take care and have a nice week.